Hi, I'm homosexual Bryan Safi.
And I'm feminasty Erin Gibson.
And this is Attitudes, LGBT plus issues,
Gender issues.
pop culture.
Honey, it's raining cats and dogs and giraffes and elephants and pelicans and fish.
Can you handle that, Noah? Shout out to Noah, the original Humane Society, honey. We love you, honey. 2x2 girl.
2x2. If you're in a throuple and it's Noah's time to save you,
okay.
you are SOL.
You know what?
The truth about a throuple comes out.
I know 4 people who are in a relationship together, all 4 of them. Do you want to know something absolutely revolting?
I'm already exhausted. Go ahead.
They all sleep in the same bed together, but they got like a full bed to put next to the king bed, but it's all together.
Okay, but the problem is I believe the full bed dimensions lengthwise is different than the king.
I don't want to know.
How do you do that?
Grandpa Joe, Goldilocks, the whole thing. I mean, truly, I can't. I don't mean because
do
the
they sleep in the same
gross. I don't want to sleep with
night?
3 other people. I can barely occasionally sleep with one other person.
What, do they sleep every night together? And in the same spot? So the people in the middle, I hope they don't have to go to the bathroom all the time.
And do you think anyone cheats on each other in that bed? While
with
sleeping?
Other people? Yeah. With the 5th person?
Yeah, exactly. Or if like they're all supposed to hook up together or not at all. If one is like, hey, shh, quiet. I'm going to put it in and you're going to receive, but we have to be totally quiet and we can't move.
I dislike this scenario. I mean, good for them. I guess they're consenting adults, but exhausting. Yeah. I am exhausted.
When they say meet me in the quad, they mean meet me in the king bed matched up with the full bed.
Yes, which really doesn't work out because so one person's on the full bed and 3 people are on the king. Is that how that works out?
Maybe. Oh, would that suck?
The person
honestly, I'd want the full bed.
That's what I would want.
Absolutely.
I'm not messing around with this king size. No, I'm sorry. I'm fully. It does look like I'm inside outdoors, but
Vancouver is getting it today.
Don't have heat in this basement, which I guess I don't deserve. According to
you do though. You know what? You do deserve it. Because by the way, I'm saying happy belated birthday for the purposes of the podcast. I don't want anyone out there to get the idea that I did not wish Erin a happy birthday on her.
Bryan was actually the first one to wish me a happy birthday.
Thank you. And Sergio was the first one to get an acknowledgement.
It was all out of order. Bryan texted me first.
Kidding.
I saw it and I said, that's so nice. And then they started coming in.
I'm so glad.
And the thing is that I have 2 birthdays because IMDb says my birthday is April 3rd or something.
Oh, weird.
And so my real friends go on IMDb to look at my birthday and then text me on that day. That's what my real friends do.
How long has this been happening for? A while?
10 years.
Oh my God, that's crazy. Wow.
And I go, oh, you don't have to do this. This is not my birthday. I don't know who put it on IMDb wrong. I don't care. I leave it up. It's a test.
Yeah.
To
my real friend.
To my real friends.
Yep.
But thank you for letting me book the podcast later today because I was able to go get a massage.
Well,
and that was really nice.
Go later than that because I was having tech. Anyway.
It was all a thing. But anyway, I don't have any heat. It's absolutely frigid Arctic here.
Have you gone outside?
So I have to wear a full puffer inside. This is how I exist in the house, is a full puffer.
God.
And I don't mean that like the Brits use it.
It is really difficult for me sometimes to get all the way warm. And the only thing that really does it is a bath. Honestly, that warms me to my bones is truly a bath.
I got to jump in that bathtub. Yeah. But I can't do it now because I'm all the electricals, you know?
What do you have?
Well, I mean, if I was to take a bath right now, like right now while we're doing this, can you imagine how dangerous that would be?
I should have been, I'm so sorry. I really should have been clearer. Yeah, take a bath when we're done, maybe, or before we're done. But tell me how your sweet little birthday was.
Oh, well, I got pulled over by a Canadian police officer.
But you don't drive there.
Yes, I do.
Hold on. You have a car in Canada?
Can you believe it? They wouldn't even give me one.
Actually,
a Ford Focus. No, Escape.
The little SUV.
The little SUV.
That's fun.
Yeah, I got pulled over. Now,
What did
I'll
you
tell
do?
you, well, the first thing is that I don't know this car because this car is new to me.
You know you don't have to drive on the left side in Canada. Was that your mistake?
I wish that was my mistake, but I do that anyway, and no one seems to mind.
Okay, good.
I just go, I'm from America. I didn't vote for Trump. And they go, what an adorable
What a cute little monster.
Southern neighbor.
Yeah.
You know how they show gas prices here?
By the liter, right?
But also by the like 10th of a penny.
Right.
So gas costs 0.00100067.
And you
What does
feel
that
like
mean?
you're getting a deal because you automatically think gallons. And then you're like, oh no, like these liters sure are slipping away. They're slipping out of my hands.
I don't even understand.
Yeah.
So my car dings too much because it's a rental and it's new. And so every time first of all, listen, I'm insulted because I am an adult who grew up with physically like manual roll down windows, locks that you had to physically push down. Okay.
Right. You're analog.
I'm basically the step after power steering was invented.
Sure.
So the fact that this fucking car thinks I
hate
need
the
beeps in order to park,
The fact that anything
I
needs a
weep
beep.
for the future.
I don't honestly, and I'll tell you this. And also, what they also
The
say
beeps are
is
more
like,
unnerving.
I completely agree. No, it makes you want to have a panic attack. That's like how Instacart sends you 10 beeps after your order has been completed, being like, did you check to make sure you got everything? Yeah, I did. Stop. Did you make sure to tip your driver? Yeah, I did it. You know I did it. You saw me do it. You know all this has happened. I'm not an idiot.
I literally looked up flip phones today.
Seriously.
I'm there.
It's the same with the microwave too. Like one beep, I'm good. I don't need you in my ear. The only thing I need multiple beeps for is an early alarm. I do need more.
That's
beeps.
it.
That's it.
Beep at me when it's alarm. The car, when I pull out of the parking spot every morning, because I'm in a garage, it beeps no less than 400 times. I do not need it. It beeps when I go backwards. It beeps when I go forward. I understand it's a tight spot. Okay, so I'm at a stoplight, fiddling with the phone.
Ooh,
Okay. Fingering the phone.
yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
I understand.
USB-C in it.
Well, if it's been on a while, like it's very hot in the middle.
So hot.
Ooh.
Not here, not in fucking 4 degrees Celsius.
No.
You're not allowed to acknowledge that a phone exists in your car, even at a stoplight in Canada.
You know what, Erin? This is hard for me to know which way to go because I would for sure be arrested and put in jail. But for how many arrests I would get for having my phone with me.
For how many
But-
times you look at your phone?
That's very safe. I mean, to be fair, I only look at it really during like stoplights, but
Well, you can't do that here. You can't look at a phone during a stoplight, even if it means that you're trying to figure out how to get home because you don't live here in a car that you're not familiar with. So all these are dangerous scenarios.
oh God. Right. That's true. Maybe, I mean, really, you are a hazard to humanity. But I am in agreement with you that seems overreactive.
So I'm getting pulled over. I'm freaking out because I'm from Texas. You know how nerve-wracking it is to be pulled over in Texas.
Of course. Oh, it just sucks. I
You
can't
think you're
even
going to
imagine.
jail.
Also, to show them an American driver's license in Canada.
This is everything that went through my mind.
Oh, my
I'm on a
God.
work visa in Canada.
Yep.
So I do the thing I think is going to work the best,
You take-
which is I start apologizing like a beta cuck.
Yeah. Sure.
I am just like, officer, I was on my phone. I was trying to reconnect it to navigation. You were absolutely right to pull me over. I am an American. I am here on a work visa. I am so sorry I did not vote for Trump. I am a good person. I am on the right side of history, sir. I am not here to do anything bad. I'm not here to steal or resources. I am simply here to do a television show, and that is it. And
Do you want to be on it? You could have said that.
He did not know what to do with me.
Yeah.
He did not know. He did not give me a ticket.
He didn't?
No. He said, this ticket's a $400 ticket. But because you, and we'll put implied parentheses here, completely wasting my time with your neurotic, sub behavior.
Right. Warning. He just issues an APD or whatever and says, warning, the person in this Ford Escape will monologue the second you pull her over. And
Monologue. You think Canadians apologize? Wait till you meet this woman in a Ford Escape. Because I was like, they're going to put me in a detention center. Like, I literally was like, I am going to be the person that they decide to like, I'm going to be the retribution.
And boot.
Yes.
So what happened? So he was just
So he said, this is a $400 ticket. And I go, I totally understand if you're going to give me a ticket. I absolutely deserve it. He goes, I'm not giving you a ticket. I want you to donate half to a charity. And I was like, weep. I said, sir, we don't deserve you as a neighbor. We do not deserve to share a continent with you.
I could literally.
He couldn't. He was like, ma'am, I'm done. We're done for the evening. The transaction is complete.
Right.
So please drive away.
Leave me alone now. Wow.
So I did. I donated to a Canadian Palestinian charity.
Did you get his digits?
He was, unfortunately, very good looking.
Oh, I believe it. I believe it.
I told you, these Canadian men.
Nothing makes these.
Everyone's sleeping on these like Canadian men.
Charity. If
you are single and you're not finding a way to get to Canada ASAP, I don't like I honestly give up in the States because you don't even understand what's waiting for you here.
I had a drink with my friend. I'm in Los Angeles now. I left New York, and it was, thank you for everyone who offers condolences. And, I did get a little bit of a, how on Jennifer.
Convertibles?
Yeah. Do you know how Jennifer Convertibles, when you leave, you kind of, they applaud you, but also you cry a little bit because you were like, we really had something there. Well, that's what happens when I leave New York. Like the pilots bow. It's great. So anyway, I was having drinks with my friend, a new friend, by the way, who's going to do some Patreons with us we have to pre-record some because I'm going to be out of town with my parents. But this guy named Peru Flores, I don't know if you know him, Erin. He's just someone in comedy I've met in New York, but he's fantastic. From Peru and named Peru. How about that?
I love it. Makes it easy.
I agree. Well, so we were having a drink at this bar, Julius, in New York, and just whatever, having fun, laughing, da-da-da-da-da.
What's that like?
Honestly, it'd been a minute. This guy next to us, who is truly Richard E. Grant and Can You Ever Forgive Me, just like wearing a scarf, 60s gay, talks in a British accent, but probably is definitely not British, just like old world, honey. You know what I mean? Like that kind of thing. He leans over, he's drunk, and he says to Peru, so, and Peru goes, what? And he goes, just a warning. And then leans back, and we're like, what did he say? Like, okay, da-da-da-da-da. And he leans back in, and he goes, did you tell him what I said? Don't tell him what I said. And Peru goes, no, I didn't even hear what you said. And he looks at Peru, and he goes, I said, don't marry him. Pointed at me. And I go, why? And he goes, I have a sense. Don't marry him. Say no. Kept telling Bruce, say no. So we were like, okay.
Also, isn't it sort of homophobic to just assume that you guys are in a relationship because you're two gay men having a drink?
Agreed. Which, by the way, like, I love Peru, but we are certainly not in a relationship. We are friends. So,
we're not sharing a king and a full. Also, okay, let's get that straight.
There was someone at the bar. There was a first date happening at the chairs next to us.
Is this an old bar?
Yes, it's called Julius. It's the oldest gay bar in New York, actually.
I see.
And it's they do they cook meat there too, but it's mostly just like I think you get a hot dog or something, but it's.
What other kind of meat do they have?
I never eat there, but they have fries and meat and.
Ooh, that's good. Corn dogs or just hot dogs?
Good question. I've literally never had anything to eat there.
Right. Meatballs?
But maybe. But then one of the bartenders said that they were going to become a firefighter because of me, which was really nice, even though I'm not a firefighter on 911. No, I should have taken it that way. No, because they watched 911, but it was very sweet. But anyway, this couple next to us, it was clearly a blind first date they had met.
Wait, does your character in 911 now is a firefighter?
No, he was in one fire, but he was nearly a victim of it on the top floor and he had to carry someone to safety. Do you know I had to carry a body to safety?
When you say a body, do you mean an actor or do you mean a dummy?
No, an actor, but they were like a stunt person. So they knew how to like tense their body to like, it was this woman. She was so great. And she knew how to tense her body the right way to weigh like 75 less pounds. She felt like nothing. And I had to do this like up flights of stairs and it felt like nothing. I had to like pretend that it was heavy. Isn't that crazy?
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, so it was clear that like they had just met off.
So you fake doing a job of rescuing someone made this bartender actually want to do it?
Do you think it's a reality show? Oh, yes, I see.
This is less about you and more about the inspiration, but go ahead.
I'm very inspirational. So then the people next to us, the people sitting at the bar next to us, clearly like they had just met. But
like that night?
Yeah, well, either on Grindr or Hinge. I think Hinge, because it didn't feel hookup-y. It felt datey. And then one guy goes, clearly the guy who, there was a big age difference. And the younger guy was thrown off. Clearly.
Because he didn't realize it?
No, because the pictures, you could tell from their dynamic, there was a little bit of a catfish situation. And when he walks in, the guy goes, yep, it's me. Like, believe it or not. And then he goes, my father looked great as he got older. My grandfather looked great as he got older. So I'm going to age very well. That was the opening lines of this.
Sir, you already have aged very well. You've already aged. This is not a future thing that's going to happen.
And then the drunk guy, and then the story ends here. The drunk guy leaned back over to us and he looks at me, points and goes, he's been around the world and I to me. And then he goes, have you ever met her? And I go, Lisa Stansfield.
Love this man. I love this man.
And he goes, yeah, have you ever met her? She's been around here. She's been around here. And I was like, no, I've never met Lisa Stansfield. And he was like, okay, don't marry him. Yeah.
And nobody thought to bring this man into the conversation. It was much easier. It was well, I mean, not that you had really any choice.
No, in fact, the bartender came over and was like clearly this guy's there every night. And he was like, okay, Sal, like, leave him alone. And he was like, what am I doing? I do nothing. He was great.
Just full Cheshire Cat energy.
Yes, exactly. But
Erin, that sounds like a lovely evening, and I can't wait to meet Peru.
I know. He's so fun.
I mean, I won't meet him because we'll be ships in the night.
I know. I don't think he ever really comes to LA, but he's great. I've known him for a while because a long time ago when I was in New York, he asked me to do a show that he was doing and it was really fun. And he's like a baby. He's like in his 20s, but like so cool, smart, all of that stuff. He's great.
Did you hear that? If you're in your 20s, Bryan doesn't think you're cool or smart.
That's not, you know what? I said it and then I regretted it. And then
he thinks you're dumb and uncool.
Guess what?
What?
Sergio, for your birthday, included some Maxine.
Oh, I'm so excited for Woo Shoe.
We love Maxine. Oh, was that for Woo Shoe?
It's for Woo Shoe. Oh, wait, or is it?
No, I think he just included this for your birthday.
Okay, so it says happy birthday, Erin. And then one is, I think, a margarita, although this doesn't look like a natural lime color.
No, this looks like an apple teeny, but with a lime.
Yeah. Take every birthday with a grain of salt. This works much better if the salt accompanies a large margarita, which she's not holding.
No, that's not a margarita.
That's not a margarita
and it
glass.
Certainly doesn't
That's
have
a martini glass. Rim. Okay.
And it certainly doesn't have a salt rim.
And then the second one is her hanging out with, I think, Clippy from Microsoft Word.
It does look like a very scared Clippy.
Who is that person?
I have no idea.
Does she hang out with a marshmallow?
Oh, it's her dog.
Oh, it's her dog. Okay. I see. It says sassy, classy, and still kicking assy.
That's cute.
I love it.
Do you know that I've been thinking
she's at Benihana? Where is she?
She must be. Somewhere. Honestly, she looks like she's at McDonald's, but they had a bar. Her food's under a heat lamp. This woman, I got to tell you.
I love her.
She just is. She's great.
Nobody can rock a checkered men's short sleeve 1950s bowling shirt like Maxine.
Can I ask you a question? Oh my God. And then Sergio just sent one of Maxine sitting in a couch with her dog having to pee. He's crossing his legs. And she's saying, Why can't dogs just hold it till spring?
What does that mean?
Hold their pee until spring so she doesn't have to walk him.
Okay.
Can I tell you something about Maxine? If she showed up at a city council meeting, I'm not sure which way it would go.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know.
She's mysterious that way.
Is that what makes her? Oh, this is from a book called Krabby Road.
Oh,
Get
that's
it?
cute.
The
Yeah,
Beatles.
Because the Beatles, yeah.
Well, we do have a Wooer shoe coming out for anybody who adores those, but I guess there won't be any Maxine. We have a Vault episode 83.
Yes, a way back episode.
When my mom met Ale.
That's exciting.
Ale was just thinking about this because, you know, my sister's boyfriend at the time had something called a magnum of Pinot Noir.
That's those like huge, giant bottles, right?
Yes, that no one should. No, it's not for two people.
It certainly is not.
It's not for two people.
Oh, they shared one?
Ale drank so much that he gave himself a migraine, and then because he was also, their cigars came out. It was like a real, like, let's see how manly you are. My parents' house.
On the set of Shane? Okay.
Basically. Yeah. Then Bryan, you ate some chips, cheese dip and ice cream while your boyfriend was out of town.
Of course
that tracks.
I did. That's what I always do.
And special guest Louis Vertel.
We love Louis.
Who is not your boyfriend.
No,
even though you two are gay and you're friends,
it turns out
did not date.
We're not in a relationship.
Yeah.
So I'll tell you, anytime I'm not around any of my private clients, I come home and like last night I ordered Levain. It was great. For dinner.
The cookies?
Yeah. I had 2 giant cookies for dinner.
I love it.
And then a blueberry muffin, but I saved that for this morning, but I still haven't eaten it.
Oh,
my
that's
life
good.
is edge of your seat. Do you understand?
Yeah. Really taking care of yourself. I think the best way to fight fascism is to have cookies for dinner.
I do too. Makes you weaker.
Yeah. This new thing we're doing.
I am
sorry,
so
go ahead.
excited. No, please. For what's in store, especially from the first one.
Salon selectives.
Oh my God.
If this isn't a show for people over 40, it is now.
I thought that was the chicest salon selectives.
I
thought
too.
that was so high end, New York City, big business, working. Like I thought, like, wow, you are a business person.
I do wonder if I smelled it, if I would have like a trigger.
Me too.
Yeah. How to Flirt, and Brenda Dickinson teaches us fashion, as she should.
Absolutely. She's the best.
You can buy individual videos of them if you want, and Dateline for only $3 each if you go to our patreon.com/attitudes.
Did you and Ale have date time this weekend?
We went to an incredible French restaurant.
No way.
Incredible. Well, sorry, if you're French listening to this podcast, which you're not.
No, but they hate everything. So
yeah.
It doesn't matter.
It's Quebec-y. And they have a weird thing.
You're kidding.
The Quebec-y don't have a weird thing. The French have a weird thing with the Quebec-y.
Yeah, I know.
So let me just get something straight. Your country colonized another country, and then they were forced to speak the language, and now you're mad at them?
You know what? That's a good point.
That's a weird angle.
Ooh, I'm going to save that in my back pocket the next time I'm in Paris and somebody talks about that.
So you're a colonizer and you impose your culture onto another country, and then they assimilate, and now you're mad at them?
That's crazy. That is
Maybe
crazy.
you could fuck off into the distance.
That's right. That's
anyway, a very good restaurant doing Quebec-y, which I guess you could call loosely French. It was French. It was fucking French. It was great. It was delicious. We went there last night, and yeah, great. It was perfect. I don't know what to say. I love the food here. It's clean. Everyone cares about food here. It's really nice.
Yeah.
And it's not as expensive as LA or New York.
I'm sure.
Because I don't know. They want people to have access to delicious food. What a fucking concept.
You know what, Erin? You've been there for a few days. Quit acting like you're Canadian.
I've been arrested. Excuse me, I've been arrested. I've been to the best French restaurant in town.
Honey, high-low.
High-low.
We also have Wooer Shoe this week for the $10 and up tiers, where we're going to Wooer Shoe spring, house dresses, Nature Valley granola bars, and what? I already know how Bryan feels about Nature Valley. Very complicated feelings. Okay. You want to get into some shoes?
Let's do it. Congratulations to New Jersey.
Why?
In order.
I was just in New Jersey yesterday. I flew out of Newark.
Oh, you were? But you must have heard about all these. You must have heard about S2552, Senate Bill 3663, 3418. Heard of those?
Yes.
They were talking about those?
That's my sister's middle name. And that's a true story.
A3418.
Uh-huh.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Very Southern, too. I'm not shocked by it.
Very Southern. Very Southern. American Gothic. Yeah.
They are 3 bills on the docket right now that looks like they're going to pass. And they are all pro-reproductive rights.
Wow.
The first one provides the Attorney General of the state with expanded authority to prosecute crisis pregnancy centers for consumer fraud because they lie.
So crisis pregnancy centers
pretend that they're abortion clinics.
Okay, got it. Right.
But they're not. They're there to like talk you
Convince
into
you into being pro-life and humiliate you and embarrass you.
Yes.
And lie to you. And
yes.
Yeah. Okay,
all lies.
Right.
So they're going to have the power to start prosecuting them. Senate Bill 3663 would create New Jersey Reproductive Health Travel Advisory to advise New Jersey residents of other states' abortion restrictions using a color-coded system. So blue, yellow, or red. So, you're planning on going to Texas? They are yellow or a red level.
Mm-hmm.
I'm actually going to talk about Texas. They're a red level. Let's be honest. So that they can start doing a rating system for these hostile states. A3418 will prevent data collection of people obtaining abortions and prevent the extradition of people who obtain abortions and people who administer abortions. They will not be able to be extradited out of the state.
That's wonderful.
Yeah. I mean, that we have to have these bills in the first place is bleak as hell.
Yeah.
But I do want to talk about Texas on the other hand, who 2 things have happened in Texas in the past couple weeks that are alarming. No shocker there. So his office has arrested a midwife for performing abortions and practicing medicine without a license. Now, I don't know all the facts because the facts are, as we say in the South, slim pickings right now.
Sure.
But according to the woman who was arrested, her name's Margarita Rojas, who's been accused of performing abortions, which is a felony. According to people who know this woman and who have been a beneficiary of her medical expertise, she is acting out of a community need and not how she's being portrayed by Ken Paxton's office, which is a murderer.
No, I
Serial
think we're
killer?
like in Vera Drake days at this point.
Yes.
Yeah.
So she and her, I think her nurse practitioner are both in custody right now. And we're going to see what happens. Rojas is an OB in Peru. Mm-hmm. And the people who knew her said she was in the business of helping women. So I don't know how this is going to go down, but it's super alarming that it happened in the first place. And I hope the ACLU is very involved in this at this point. Now, whereas this Miss Rojas was performing reproductive health in the business of helping women in Texas, Dr. Ingrid Skop is out of that business. Now, I would put her in a category akin to the log cabin Republicans, which is a woman who's practicing obstetrics who is anti-choice.
Oh.
So there's a part of your identity.
So she's a doctor.
Yes.
For pregnant people or
yes.
And isn't science-based or I don't know, medical based or I don't know what you would call personhood based.
Oh no, I mean she's one of the doctors who sued to revoke the U.S. Food and Drug Administration's approval of mifepristone.
Right.
She is frequently called on to
Sounds
testify.
like she needs more clients. Honestly, she doesn't sound very busy.
She needs a lot more clients.
Yeah.
Yeah. Personal clients. Yeah, exactly.
Right. Exactly.
She is always called on to testify in favor of Texas abortion laws. And she also signed a sworn affidavit saying Kate Cox who was a Dallas woman who asked a judge to allow her to terminate a non-viable pregnancy. Dr. Skop said, I'm a doctor and I know that this woman shouldn't be allowed to terminate this pregnancy. I haven't examined her, but I don't think
But I'm a doctor. Yeah. I'm a
she
doctor.
qualify an abortion. Yeah.
I'm a doctor, so I know that we need to just go ahead and destroy this bridge.
Yes, exactly.
Right.
This person's life should be absolutely destroyed because we can't intervene in a way that we would have been able to intervene medically, 2 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
We're not doing that anymore because the rules have changed.
Mm-hmm.
She has produced medical studies that are false, that are so false.
I was going to say movies. And I thought, well,
medical
give me
movies,
her contact info.
Oh,
I don't know if she produced maybe
St. Elmo's Fire.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
Did she?
I don't know.
Because this would be someone I could really use in my life.
You're looking to,
they're reviving it. They're going to do a Where Are They Now?
That's funny.
They're doing
Isn't that funny?
St.
Reviving it because it flatlined.
Is that hilarious?
That's so funny.
Okay, so you'll give me her contact info, you said?
So you're saying they're reviving St. Elmo's Fire?
With the same cast, almost like a reunion of those people, like a college reunion, yeah.
But it's a miniseries?
No, that you made up all on your own.
What is the revival? They're doing a talk?
No, sorry. So someone's writing a movie of them, those characters, 30, 40 years later. But now,
okay.
So it would be Demi Moore. Who else? Andrew McCarthy, Rob Lowe.
Yes.
Mayor Winningham. Ali Sheedy.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah.
The movie everyone's clamoring for.
Exactly.
Okay.
So stop clamoring. Yeah.
Stop your clamoring. You're getting exactly what you want.
I hope that's the tagline of the movie eventually. Stop clamoring. It's here.
It's here. Yeah. The movie my question is this. Is this based off of Demi Moore's success? Did she ask for this? Is this a scenario where there's some I think it's underground
nostalgia
film
porn a little bit.
But for this movie?
Yeah, I don't really get it. But I think a lot of people...
But also, wasn't part of that movie was the fact that they were residents and they were figuring out their lives?
Yeah, aren't they at Syracuse in grad school or something?
So now we're going to find out about how they juggle 4 homes, a vacation home in Utah, and
yeah, maybe
Italian vacations,
right? And probably don't recycle. I mean, these people are in
someone's going to come out as an RFK supporter,
anti-vaxxer.
Yes,
totally.
Okay.
Yeah. I don't see another way.
I don't know what.
Maybe if they want to be really edgy, maybe now one of them is gay.
Is gay?
Maybe.
Okay, I like that.
Be really edgy.
That would have been edgy for then, which is probably why they'll do it now.
Yeah. Yeah.
Are you writing the movie? Are you floating notes back? No, I'm not your exec. I can't give you approval on any story points.
Say, but I will say that this one's going to be a little more edgy.
Great. I can't wait to see it. Dr. Ingrid Skop. Maybe that's not how you say her name.
The producer of St. Elmo's Fire.
Yes. Who's also now sits on the maternal death committee of the state of Texas.
Correct.
So what can't she do? Quite frank. What can't she do? I am chock-a-block. I am out there preventing people from getting abortions, and I have to check
avails.
Do you know Ali Sheedy is trying to, I understand they all talk and they all know each other's salaries, but Ali Sheedy, I can't give her what I'm giving Demi.
It just can't work. They want favored nations, but Demi is to me, honey.
Demi is to me.
Yeah.
I can't, and Andrew McCarthy, is he in it?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay. I can't.
And so is Emilio Estevez. Emilio Estevez is.
Okay, so I would love it if they legit were like, Emilio Estevez has a drinking problem, and then but his vodka or his tequila of choice is his own tequila company.
That would be great.
That would be good product placement.
So Andrew McCarthy is in it, and so is Emilio Estevez, which to me is overkill.
And then what about
oh my God,
what's
Judd
his name?
Nelson too.
Judd Nelson? I thought Judd Nelson doesn't want to act anymore.
That's true. Maybe they'll write out his character. And Annie McDowell was in it.
And then what about what's his name from Parks and Rec?
No, he wasn't in it. Who, the guy Nick Offerman? Or
no.
And Adam Scott?
No. The 80s heartthrob.
Yeah, I said Rob Lowe.
Oh, you said Rob Lowe.
Yeah.
Okay. When I think Parks and Rec, I go right to Rob Lowe.
Me too. Immediately.
Anyway, this woman, Dr. Scott, who's also a big time Hollywood producer of nostalgic films that no one's asking for. She now sits on the maternal death committee for the state of Texas, which means she's in charge of the information coming back after these abortion laws regarding how dangerous it is to be pregnant in Texas. And now she is controlling the data. And there used to be another woman on the board who they just kicked off. She's a Black woman from Austin who nearly died in childbirth. She was part of they had seats on this committee for community members, and she was one of them. Her name is Nakenia Wilson. She was kicked off because they decided to change the rules so she couldn't be on anymore. So the one person who was like kind of being like, we have to do women or pregnant people of Texas right is now gone.
They just figured out a way to shove her on out of there.
Exactly.
Great.
Exactly. I came across this declassified World War II pre-CIA guide to simple sabotage. I kind of wanted to read you some things because I think these are.
By the way, do not clue me in on how you came up with how you found this. I don't want to know.
Well, I go down rabbit holes.
Yeah. Okay.
So
go ahead.
I like niche World War II history.
Sure.
I don't want to know if
Right.
I don't want to know about men in planes or men on ships.
No, I understand. Yeah.
I like to know that weird stuff, the
Sure.
other stuff.
Yeah.
Okay.
Of course.
Mostly I find this stuff through me looking up women who've been erased from history.
Yeah.
Especially World War II, because they were a very big part of it.
Of course. I mean, they
absolutely
were
erased.
the backbone of the country.
Not
Many
only the backbone of the country, they were flying supplies across the country. They were doing things. And then we had women in factories. We had a nationalized childcare system, which Nixon absolutely would not let stay. I love that we can come together when we're at war, but then women are just like, oh, and then totally erased from the scenario. Like there were women pilots during World War II. And then when commercial airlines started out, they couldn't fly.
It's insane. My grandmother ran the family business for her family when her brothers and everyone were at war.
And what happened when they came back?
She became a homemaker.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So this was declassified in 2008. It was basically a way for simple everyday people to upend the system. It's making me laugh because some of it feels like it is what Musk and everyone's doing just by being purely stupid. But it does make me laugh to think about doing this on a day-to-day basis with Republicans. I think you could do this if you're like, you have like people like, let's say you're a teacher or something, or you're like at an office and you work with a lot of conservative people, you can kind of do this. This will drive them crazy. Okay. Insist on doing everything through channels. Okay. No shortcuts. Okay. If you want me to do this, you've got to do this, then this, then this, then this, and this. Make speeches with long anecdotes and accounts of personal experiences. Okay. Was basically
Sounds
what I do with the Canadian police officer.
Right. Humanize yourself.
Yes. Not really. Bore them with your personal details.
Oh, I see. Sure.
Bring up irrelevant issues as frequently as possible. That's our podcast.
Oh, honey, we're passing this with flying colors.
Hold conferences when there is more critical work to be done, which is basically this could have been an email.
And by the way, that's completely.
I
Every
know.
company's objective is to just waste time.
To lower morale, be pleasant to inefficient workers.
Give them the raises.
Give them the raises. And then never pass on your skill and experience to a new or less skillful worker.
Take it to the grave.
I do that everywhere.
Absolutely.
I don't pass up any. I'm so skilled and I don't let any of it on.
Whenever anyone says to me, can I get some advice? I say, yeah, here's my advice. Go eat a fish live. Okay?
Some people do it.
Yeah, they do.
They think you're being real.
They do.
Yeah.
There's a town on a hill that sounds very grand. When you stand on the hill, your feet aren't flat 'cause it's a hill. 1 foot down, 1 foot up, or is it the other way around? The town on the hill.
Beautiful. And when did that was that was a Judy Garland musical?
It was, yes, called El Cerrito, California. You never saw it?
No.
Oh, it's one of the best. A classic golden era MGM musical.
She has a lot of movies I haven't caught up with.
Yeah, that's
El
one of them.
Cerrito.
Yeah.
City of Industry.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah. Loma Linda. Classic.
Palos Verdes. Yeah.
Absolutely. Yep. Yorba Linda. Remember she did the
all
Linda
the Lindas.
series?
All the Lindas.
She was so great. And remember they tried to reboot them with Linda Fiorentino, but turns out she doesn't really have a singing voice like that.
Well, that's a shame. You got to have that.
You do. Did you ever see that movie, The Last Seduction? With Linda Fiorentino and Peter Berg?
Feel like I have.
Was it a
psychosexual thriller?
Yeah,
in
she's
the 90s?
basically a sociopath. And she just is like really dominant and like, I don't know. She's just such a badass in it. Who knows how it feels now? It came out in the 90s and I remember I snuck in to see it. But I remember it being such a badass movie when I was younger. Anyway.
If you like weird sexual overtones in your murder movies, might I suggest the 90s?
Hot Bet, Basic Instinct, The Last Seduction, Disclosure, all
What's
of them.
the Madonna movie?
Yeah, Body of Evidence.
Oh, Body of Evidence, yeah.
Any of those. They're just full of them. So El Cerrito is a city in Northern California. I guess it's considered Bay Area. It's very small, has about 25,000 residents. It also has California's first out Black lesbian mayor, the first one ever in California, whose name is Carolyn Weisinger. She's beyond the dawn, honey. She is so fabulous. El Cerrito also is a place with the first LGBTQ majority city council, aside from Palm Springs and WeHo, West Hollywood. El Cerrito, where have you been all my life? Because El Cerrito is creating a plan and a blueprint to become the Celebration Florida. Do you remember Celebration Florida?
Oh, yeah, I sure do.
It was like that town that Disney built but then abandoned because someone got murdered there. And that was a big deal. And I think Domino's Pizza had something
to
do
so it's
with
north of Oakland.
North of Oakland. They have a plan currently under the guidance of the mayor, Carolyn Weisinger, and the city council to create the Celebration Florida. Those are my words, not theirs. I don't think they would say such a thing. Of queer havens, but without any murder or without the mouse or Domino's Pizza. But maybe you can get it there. I'm not entirely sure. Don't misquote me, everybody. So El Cerrito has a mission to make El Cerrito a safe and welcoming place to live for people and families being affected by the Trump administration in their own anti-LGBTQ plus states. Now, El Cerrito is a tiny place, but I want to highlight it to just show what local government can do and how they can really fight against every odd to say, hey, not only do we want to call ourselves a safe haven where, and I'll go through some other safe haven cities, especially for trans people that, allow gender affirming care. I'm talking very places you wouldn't guess, like Boston and outside Boston, specifically Worcester, Massachusetts, Ithaca, New York, New York, obviously, LA, California, of course.
Well, LA's done a bad job. I mean, but the hospitals...
agree, because the problem is these places are so big.
Yeah.
Or actually, Kansas City Missouri has done a remarkably good job with this. Like, they have gender affirming care on the books, like solid, which is great. But El Cerrito has an all encompassing plan to make it, honestly, a destination for people, especially queer families fleeing intolerance, or queer people fleeing intolerance. This is how they want to promote themselves nationally. Because, by the way, they're very smart. The population of El Cerrito is declining. I think in the past few years, it's declined by 2.5%. I want to tell you, you go to any gay neighborhood in any city, and that was a failing neighborhood before queer people moved in, took it over, and polished it up and made it an incredible community. West Hollywood,
the other thing is that
Palm Springs is an example.
May I separate this from gentrification? Because it is not the same thing.
No, it isn't. And I will also say, symbolically, this is an amazing thing that El Cerrito is doing this. The problem lies here, and they know it and they acknowledge it. It is a wealthy place to live. It is. Like,
I was just looking up Zillow
homes
prices.
There are $1 million plus. So this is right now really a symbolic move. However, it is in looking at how, like, working class and lower income families would probably have a hard time here. But another one of the mayor's initiatives, aside from making this a queer safe haven, she's building a new library, and she's building her main goal is building a lot more affordable housing for people to come in and do this. But I think the idea is, hey, if you live in a small town, even if it's destitute, there are ways to just elect. This city council, by the way, in El Cerrito is 5 people. Do you know how easy it is to get everyone to elect the 5 right people to create massive change? So one of the things they're doing, and again, they're looking at themselves as a blueprint for other people. They're going to have a large scale Pride Month celebration, which would last a month long. They're going to make Drag Queen Story Hour like a thing on the books, a regular thing at the library. They're going to name a drag queen laureate, like a poet laureate, but for drag.
I love it.
And they're actively going to market the city as an LGBTQ plus friendly place to live and do business, which again is a great way to get people in a city with a population decline to move there and to thrive there. Because what that does really, because when you bring queer people in, you're also bringing in queer-owned businesses, queer-owned restaurants, all of this stuff to really not only better the city, but also just make it a true community. These people in El Cerrito, when they see, this is so wild, when they see Trump headlines about all this anti-trans legislation, they're like, you don't understand. That is just not a way of life here. Like, we don't see that ever. We only read about it. It's almost like we're in a different country in that way, which is wild.
You know who could take a fucking page out of their book is Gavin fucking Newsom.
Well, so this is what is shocking. So we know, for instance, that since Trump took office, he's worked to ban trans people from the military, wants the federal government to only recognize 2 sexes, make gender affirming care for youth a practical impossibility, and also outlaw trans women and girls from their participation in female sports, specifically in federally funded schools. But again, in a matter of just a few weeks ago, Gavin Newsom, like progressive straight man icon, completely reversed course in an incredibly selfish move in the long run, I have to imagine, because I think this is just all a bid for him to be viewed as more of a centrist so that he can, run for president one day and blah, blah, fucking blah. But he recently said on a podcast, which was honestly, frankly, like
his podcast. I'm saying that as a person with the podcast, but like, I also am not the fucking governor.
Exactly. And also it's just such a little bit of a baby, like cowardly way to do it. You just stand up there and say it, girl, say it to our faces. So he said that it's, quote, deeply unfair for trans athletes to participate in girls' sports. And so
has anyone asked how the people who play sports with trans athletes feel? Because I guarantee you, they probably don't want their team member kicked off their fucking team.
Exactly. Suzanne Ford, who's the first trans person to serve as the executive director of San Francisco Pride, because this really, the only article I've seen about this has been in the San Francisco Chronicle, said, Suzanne Ford said, when you have the highest ranking leaders in both the nation and your state, and we're talking this state of California, but it's true. The highest ranking leader in the country is Donald Trump and Elon Musk, probably. The highest ranking person in the state is Gavin Newsom. When you have both of those people attacking your very existence and hitting you where it hurts, it becomes even more important for local elected officials to do their part to foster an inclusive environment. And Suzanne Ford said, we need more local leaders like Carolyn, who's all about making everyone feel welcome. Now, what's exciting is that the number of queer elected officials has really seen a surge, which is wonderful. That said, there's something on nearly 2,000 mayoral positions countrywide, and yet there is only one active Black lesbian female mayor, you know? And when you really think about it, like 1 out of 1,600 is still way too small. So, and this is also someone, by the way, who is homegrown. She used to be bused into school. She grew up in the projects of Richmond's South Side. Had no lack of grocery stores, restaurants, clothing shops, any of that. So sometimes they would be forced to drive to El Cerrito, which was a very expensive place. She was bused into El Cerrito for high school. And while she was there, that's when she really found identity, because even back then the city was celebrating Pride and trying to be an inclusive community. And also, I guess people from San Francisco, specifically people who used to live in the Castro, which is the big queer neighborhood there, started moving to El Cerrito just to, like, you know, have a chiller life and all that. Then she became a teacher, but along the way was an Uber driver, delivered groceries for Instacart. This was in 2013. This was not that long ago. And now she's leading El Cerrito. Like, all of this is
Amazing.
possible. If you are an Uber driver or an Instacart driver in any city you're in, all you have to have is a vision, confidence, and a will. Because she said that the most discouraging thing she ever heard as a teacher was on the issue of inclusiveness. She was a high school English teacher at Richmond High, and she broke down in tears when a top administrator told her he wasn't worried. She went to the principal essentially saying, there is a Black female student in my class who is getting into fights in school. Something's going on emotionally with her, because not long ago she was dreaming of going to Brown University, and I was really helping her on that track. She's really failing here. I mean, I see her sliding, like something's going on, which, by the way, what an incredible teacher she must have been. And he said, I'm not worried about the problems of a Black student, which is crazy. So she took that heartache and heartbreak and is fostering change from it. And again, this was an Uber driver not that long ago.
I hope that administrator is gone.
Me too. And even though, again, this is happening in a very wealthy city that I'm sure promotes inclusiveness, many wealthy places do, I do hope that people see this as a blueprint for something. There are 25,000 residents in El Cerrito. I would say if you have a town that is losing population, that is small already, why not elect the people you want to see elected on the city council? And why not follow El Cerrito's blueprint and get all these people with resources, money, fucking dinks, and go to your town? Because to put it in her words, she said this is how this article ended in the San Francisco Chronicle. The fabulous Karen Weisinger said, which I thought this was just so great. She said, the LGBTQ agenda is alive and well in El Cerrito. After all, you've got to love a place where a single Black childless lesbian can be mayor. Incredible.
Love her.
And as I said, there are other sanctuary cities, but like, yeah, let's just sort of go for the gold here, because it's crazy to think that in California, you could have the governor against a lot of what you stand for, and not to mention the president. Like, even liberals are just even the most liberal among us. And Gavin Newsom used to be one of those people, especially when it came to being high in politics. They're vanishing or weakening.
For a guy whose wife came out with a documentary about boys falling behind because of the fact that they couldn't feel emotional.
Right.
It's a strange stance.
No, he was the first person to say we have an opportunity for gay people to get married in California. This was way before Prop 8.
Before it was legal.
Before it was legal. He was the leader of it. And now look.
Playing some dumb game.
Yep. So, I don't know. Maybe I'll go to El Cerrito sometime. If I can afford it.
We got some Patreon comments.
La.
Renee says, Erin, come to Tucson instead of Phoenix. I would. It's just it adds 6 hours to my trip.
It does. I'll say to Erin's credit, it does not make sense for her to go to Tucson and then up to.
I wish I could. I've done it once. It just adds too much time, but you're absolutely right. And I will, the next time I have some leisurely time to mosey on down to Tucson, I will absolutely do it.
There you go.
This new thing we're doing, number 19, Amanda says, obsessed with how Erin and Bryan low-key succumb to their latent Southern accents the longer they watch the Sheryl Crow tour.
Wow. Jesse Walker says, whenever you buy from eBay, they show you similar items. I bet, I guess that's what Sheryl Crow said. I bet she just drinks a pint of Guinness and clicks add to cart on every old sign and horrific mannequin that pops up.
That was, I'm still thinking about it. What was the bug thing? It wasn't the bug really got him. It was.
Oh, the bug rot. Oh, no.
Yeah.
Rotted bugs.
It got rotted with bugs.
Something. There was something. Ann Barry says, my aunt and uncle were on Trading Spaces. No way. And they absolutely hated what they did to their kitchen. They painted walls, ceilings this yellow beige, the cabinets a pale orange, and then shitty mosaic tile on the counters, all in brown and orange. Fucking terrible. My uncle was happy he got to flirt with the host in front of my aunt through the entire show. She sounds wonderful.
These people just sound like, well, he sounds like he deserved what he got. Also, it's a show that was available to consume before you signed up for it.
That's right.
They don't do a good job on anyone's.
Derek Mart says, oh, wow, I haven't thought about Christopher Lowell in years. I feel like I'm on the brink of having a sexual dream about him, by the way. I used to watch him with my grandmother, who wrote down his tips from each episode in a spiral-bound notebook, none of which she ever used.
That is so poetic.
I love it. And on episode 696, Paul said I would listen to an entire podcast of Bryan and Erin discussing conversations they overheard in restaurants. Well, we just did that.
Well, guess what? We'll do it every time we have them. How's that?
There you go. And listen, people liked the Dateline where we talked about Birdie. And Paul said that is such an unfair depiction of Spokane. That place is more than chain restaurants and empty fields. They also have pawn shops and storage units. Fair enough. And Lee McCormick said, my dog's name is Birdie. And to say she was confused while this was playing on our car ride would be an understatement. Ears and eyes flying left, right, and center for a solid 6 minutes.
I have to assume this is Birdie with a wig on.
Yes, she put a wig on Birdie. I
adore Birdie in both versions.
Me too.
But she's a different dog with that wig on.
She's Birdie with the wig. Real Birdie. Oh, she kind of has the Snow White wig.
Oh, she does.
Brunette, though. Allison Norris said, I'm unfortunately too familiar with the turd in a punch bowl phrase from an old boss saying it. Ah!
He was from Texas. Well, that makes sense.
Listen, join us on patreon.com/attitudes. Rate, review, and subscribe to Spotify, Apple Podcasts, wherever you get the show. It's free and it's the least.
Hurry up before you get rotted with bugs.
Follow us on that Attitudes Pod, and yeah, don't get bug rot.